So I appreciate you being here. Thank you very much. And I'm going to go into the icebox now and sit for about 8 hours or 9 hours. I'd much rather be in Georgia. I'd much rather be in Florida. I'd much rather be in states that are in play, states that, I'd like to be able to campaign.
That was Donald Trump arriving to his criminal trial in Manhattan on Tuesday, what is shaping up to perhaps be his worst day yet of the criminal trial. Perhaps he wasn't expecting it based on the fact that, the first witness was just someone to authenticate the business record, someone by the name of Gary Farrow. But as Trump walked into court after complaining about how freezing he was, as you saw in that clip, he was instantly hit with a criminal contempt finding by Justice Merchan. More on that in just a little bit. But as Donald Trump walked into the courtroom, in addition to complaining about how cold he was and saying he was walking into an ice box, as you just saw, and complaining that he can't campaign, which, by the way, he didn't campaign on Saturday, he didn't campaign on Sunday, he didn't campaign on Monday, he didn't campaign on last Wednesday when there was no criminal trial taking place. In any event, Donald Trump then used this press conference to claim that Charlottesville, where Donald Trump said there are very fine people on both sides, referring to Nazis, that Donald Trump said that Charlottesville was peanuts. And he keeps on saying that Charlottesville was peanuts. Play this clip.
Like it. He said he ran because of Charlottesville. Well, if the people that know Charlottesville, when you extend the statement, it's a big hoax what they say was said, and they understand that. And Charlottesville is peanuts compared to what you're looking at now.
It should be also noted as well that Donald Trump brought some guests with him this time. Ken Paxton, the corrupt and impeached attorney general from Texas, showed up, and he posted how he was going to be showing up. As our editor-in-chief Ron Filipkowski says, the irony is not lost that the impeached, corrupt, and almost convicted Ken Paxton was there, but for Donald Trump's intervention, Ken Paxton would have been likely convicted by the Senate after being impeached by the Republican House of Representatives in Texas. By the way, Paxton is still currently under indictment. I guess you know what they say about birds of a feather or criminals of a feather. They definitely flock together. And here, Donald Trump in this bizarre press conference also talks about how Jack Smith was found with his hands in a cookie jar. He says, "Have you heard about last night? There's something, I haven't read it, but Jack Smith's hands are in a cookie jar." Like, what are you even talking about? You haven't read it, but his hands are in a cookie jar? Play the clip.
And all of the cases are, frankly, all of them are. You probably saw last night that Jack Smith got caught with his hand in the cookie jar. It was released late last night, and it's a big story. The documents case is a hoax created by them for election interference purposes. And so that one looks like it's going asunder. A brilliant judge saw some facts, and I haven't read what was revealed yet. It just came out. But the document hoax is indeed a hoax. The whole thing is a hoax. All of them are hoaxes, including the civil cases. They're controlled by the White House. They're controlled by Democrat judges and prosecutors that were put there specifically. They hate Trump. And the people.
I mean, look, yes, his conduct is fraudulent. Yes, his conduct, in my view, is criminal. And I think in your view as well. He's also an idiot. What's he talking about? I haven't read something, but I am now aware that his hands are in a cookie jar. It must be all of these legal scholars telling you that. Like when Donald Trump lists the legal scholars in these press conferences, he goes, well, let's take a look at the legal scholars. They all agree. It's Mark Levin from Fox. You know my Mark Levin impression. He goes, Donald Trump. And Mark Levin is just like the ultimate propaganda hack on Fox. He goes like Mark Levin and Jonathan Turley. He just like lists the Fox panelists that he watches and goes, they all say that this case is a sham. And they like do this to like boost his ego too. Here, play this clip right here of Donald Trump saying all of the legal scholars. This was him earlier today, right before he was hit with a criminal contempt sanction. Play this clip.
Thank you very much. So we begin again. This is a case that should never have been brought. Every single major legal scholar, Jonathan Turley, Greg Jarrett, Andy McCarthy, Dershowitz, every single scholar, Mark Levin, the great Mark Levin, had a whole show on it last night, said that this is a disgraceful case. It's a disgrace to the New York state and city court system.
Thereafter, Donald Trump walked into the courtroom where Justice Merchan first and foremost said, all right, let's do some housekeeping matters. Donald Trump's requested off for Barron's graduation. That's May 17th. The court having considered that request, the court will allow Donald Trump to go and see Barron's graduation with the representation that that's where he's going to go. As we previously reported, that was consistent with what Justice Merchan said before. Donald Trump went out and then lied and said Justice Merchan was not letting me go to Barron's graduation when trial first started, when like the first day of the trial as jury was being selected, without understanding how fast the case was going to go, without knowing how long jury selection was going to take, how long the openings were going to take, how long the early witnesses would go. Donald Trump's lawyer said, hey, Donald Trump doesn't want to be here on May 17th because he wants to be at Barron's graduation. We all think that that's BS, but whatever. Justice Merchan said, look, let's see where we're at in a week or two, and then we'll see, I want to make sure this case is moving along, and then we'll deal with it. And Justice Merchan dealt with it, but Donald Trump then went out and said, the judge is depriving me of being at Barron's graduation. And then all of Donald Trump's legal scholars, like Tom Fitton, who's not even a licensed lawyer. Think about it. One of Donald Trump's top legal scholars is not actually even a lawyer. That shouldn't actually surprise you. But remember when Tom Fitton did this, when Donald Trump was whining how he couldn't attend Barron's graduation? This is actually the video that Tom Fitton, Trump's top legal advisor, who's not a lawyer, posted. Play this clip.
And it looks like the judge will not let me go through the graduation of my son, who's worked very, very hard. He's a great student. He's very proud of the fact that he did so well. I was looking forward for years to have graduation with his mother and father there, and it looks like the judge isn't going to allow me to escape this scam. It's a scam trial. If you read all of the legal pundits, all of the legal scholars today, there's not one that I see that said this is a case that should be brought or tried. It's a scam. It's a political witch hunt. It continues, and it continues forever. And we're not going to be given a fair trial. It's a very, very...
So also going over who was there, you had Ken Paxton. You also had Eric, by the way. Eric Trump showed up. He was the first Trump to show up now that we're in week 3. Eric Trump trying to win the affection of his father, apparently, and showed up. We'll see how long he actually stays there for. But so you had Eric Trump, you had Ken Paxton. The first order of business was Justice Merchan addressing the issue of Barron's graduation. And now Trump's going to have to actually show up because, all eyes will be on that right now. And then Justice Merchan handed down his criminal contempt order. We talked about that in an earlier hot take today. But Justice Merchan found Donald Trump violated the gag order on 9 separate occasions. Justice Merchan said that he would have likely sanctioned Donald Trump far more than what New York law allows. New York law for criminal contempt only allows $1,000 per violation in which a finding of contempt is made. There were 9 findings beyond a reasonable doubt. So a $9,000 sanction, although Justice Merchan said in some of these circumstances, if I had the power, sometimes maybe it's $2,500, sometimes maybe it would be $150,000 per violation, but I'm limited. I don't have the discretion. New York law requires that it just be this. But Justice Merchan did say in his order that future conduct would be met by incarceratory action, meaning that Donald Trump could be locked up, could be put in a jail cell immediately if he's found to violate the contempt order again. And it should be noted, if he's found to violate the gag order again. And there is a hearing now on Thursday for additional violations by Donald Trump of the gag order. And it will be interesting to see at that hearing on Thursday, we're just a few days away, if the prosecution will now be asking, in light of this contempt order by Donald Trump by Justice Merchan against Donald Trump, for incarceration of Donald Trump, to throw Donald Trump in jail. I wouldn't be surprised if the prosecution makes that request now that Donald Trump's been found in criminal contempt. Once, strike two, I would think Donald Trump would be found in contempt and could be incarcerated. So we will see. We will keep you posted on that. But Donald Trump walked in, was hit with criminal contempt, basically told that, hey, you're going to be incarcerated if you do this again. We got a statement from Michael Cohen who said, the imposed fine is irrelevant, but Justice Merchan's decision elucidates that his behavior will not be tolerated and that no one is above the law. And then we had Gary Farrow, a banker at First Republic Bank, testify and basically just authenticate the records from Essential Consultants, which was the shell company that Cohen created to divert the money to pay off Stormy Daniels on behalf of Donald Trump. And we got the records authenticated, the payment that was made to Stormy Daniels' lawyers. So there you have it. We'll keep you posted as we learn more. I'm Ben Meiselas from the MeidasTouch Network. Hit subscribe. We're on our way to 3 million subscribers. Thanks for watching.
Enough! Send it to the big house, not the White House. Get the new exclusive tees, mugs, and stickers right now at store.meidastouch.com. That's store.meidastouch.com.